Hello, everyone. Today, we will explore a very special hand, the hand of a woman born in 1972, carrying many signs of life experience, resilience, and a fulfilling future, both in wealth and spirit. From the difficulties in her youth to the warning signs that call for caution in her current work, and especially the blessings and fortune later in life, all of these are clearly reflected in each palm line. If you enjoy content that analyzes destiny and blessings through the palm, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share the video to spread these fascinating insights to more people. Now, let's begin the detailed analysis. When looking at her hand overall, even though she is already 53 years old, the hand remains thick and rosy. This is a hand with a very good palm type. On the hand, the mounts are also quite prominent, especially upon close observation. I noticed that her thumb is very large. A person with a thumb that is large and plump like this usually has a high degree of decisiveness and a destiny to be a leader. Therefore, it is very likely that she is currently the owner of an establishment or a business. There are also many very good signs on this hand. Specifically, the end of the headline splits into two branches. People whose headline splits like this often have a youth full of effort, challenges, and some hardship, but later in life, they tend to develop well. In addition, her heart line also splits into two branches. This is one of the extremely good signs indicating a stable later life. When combined with a prominent Mercury mount, this shows that she receives strong support from those around her, possibly children who provide a lot of assistance and help. Moreover, she herself is also well liked by others. The lower phalange of her thumb is very plump. This is a good sign, indicating that fortune is coming to her and good opportunities are opening up. Her personality is not exactly extroverted. She is someone who does everything meticulously, has a perfectionist nature, and her relationships are usually truly necessary ones, not the type driven by a desire for fun or leisure. She herself had identified many money-making opportunities in earlier stages of life. Before the age of 30, she was already very hardworking and started earning money at a very young age. From around 30 to 40 years old was the period when her career experienced significant changes. It is possible that during that time, her work faced many difficulties, obstacles, or busyness. This is because people with a fishtail-shaped headline often live very busy lives, with many things to do, and are full of ideals and ideas. Therefore, they are usually multi-talented and skilled in many areas, which sometimes leads to a lack of focus. They want to do everything, want to take on everything, but in the end, it does not bring great success. The biggest lesson in the lives of such people is the need to focus on one specific field. However, after the age of 40, from about 40 to 50 years old, this hand shows a trend of rather good development. Even so, there is one point worth noting. Between the ages of 40 and about 50, matters of love may not be entirely smooth. On the palm, the heart line goes deeper, and for people with this type of heart line, usually first, they may be delayed in marriage. Second, their emotions are very deep, so when they experience heartbreak, they tend to carry that emotional burden for a long time. This causes her to often think a lot about things from the past, and sometimes those thoughts become a pressure or burden in her current life. It is best in life to let go of what has passed, especially when one is older, and not carry the old stories anymore. However, in terms of emotions, this hand has two fingers that wrap around each other quite beautifully. Combined with a straight index finger, this shows that within her family, she always receives support and affection from everyone. It is possible that in her love life, she has had very good emotional experiences. On the palm, the prominent Mercury mount is also a sign that later in life she can rely on her children, with a loving relationship between husband and wife and a complete family. This is one of the good signs. In her youth, she may have experienced failures or even bankruptcy. This is because the palm lines extending from the gaps between the fingers are very deep and prominent, which indicates that there have been major issues related to finances. There are even fish-shaped markings swimming toward the index finger. This is also one of the signs showing that during middle age, around 30 to 40 years old, she may have gone through significant financial failures. However, from the present time to later in life, the palm shows a very positive trend of development. Her headline splits into two branches, both of which are very clear and almost uninterrupted, indicating that work in the future will tend to go more smoothly. On this hand, the lifeline is also very strong and distinct. However, after the age of 50, this line begins to fade significantly. Prior to that, she may have encountered some health problems. Fortunately, there is a parallel supporting lifeline running alongside it. This helps balance her energy and health. More notably, this hand has a very deep grace line, representing protection and support from higher powers, indicating that she receives great help from spiritual forces, and her spiritual aspect is also very strong. Although after the age of 50, the fading lifeline may affect her longevity, she is very fortunate to possess three very clear wrist lines. Even more special is a mole located right at the wrist. This is a sign that represents long life. These three signs combined indicate that her lifespan may exceed 85 years old. Additionally, she has a prominent mount of Luna combined with the mount of Earth. This area is also very well developed, showing that she receives support and protection from spiritual forces. She herself is an emotional person, always caring for others. On the palm, on the thumb, there is also a phoenix eye pattern with many phoenix eye lines. This is a sign that she is someone who works with great heart and sincerity. This hand of hers is the hand of someone destined to be a leader. It is possible that she is currently the owner of a business or establishment, and the development trend in the near future still looks very promising. She currently has many financial opportunities, both in the present and even in the future. Both of her hands show a very positive trend. The prominent Jupiter mount at the age of 53 indicates that she has leadership ability, speaks and is listened to by others, and possesses strong management and persuasion skills. On her fingers, especially the little finger, there are deep vertical lines. Such lines also appear on the ring finger. All of these are signs of a good later life. These vertical lines further indicate that her love life is favorable and her financial situation will remain stable in the future. This is one of those hands that indicate fulfillment. On the left hand, in the fingertip area, there are oval shapes. This sign suggests she may have stomach-related illnesses or digestive issues. The end of the illness line is quite chaotic, which further supports the likelihood of digestive disturbances. However, in contrast, on the lifeline, there are long upward lines, which is a positive sign. In the center of the palm, there is a very clear and balanced X shape. This is a sign of a good later life. However, those with an X shape like this usually have a very good personality, live for others, and therefore sometimes suffer losses in life. She is someone who values harmony and does not like to compete too much, but it is exactly because of this kindness and noble character that she is blessed with fortune in her later years. This is also something very precious. There is also a rare sign on the palm, a diamond shape on the mount of Luna, very clear. This is an extremely good and rare sign. People who have this diamond shape often tend to enjoy blessings and are taken care of by others. If not by their children, then by the next generation, who will provide a lot of help. Such people also always feel at ease when entrusting work to others. Her marriage line is located in the middle section, indicating that the most suitable age for her to marry is around 25 to 26 years old. If she married during that period, it would be very smooth and favorable. Her fingers are all quite large, which shows that she is rational, ambitious, and carries within her very passionate dreams. With this trait, she is completely inclined to be in control of her career and to accumulate wealth. When the hand is closed, the skin tone looks very healthy and the hand appears plump. This is a sign of someone with good health. At present, she is still maintaining a positive life and stable health. The more she enters her later years, the better her development trend becomes. This hand also indicates that her longevity is relatively high, and she does not need to worry much about her lifespan. Looking at her right hand, all the palm mounts are very prominent, which shows that her upcoming fortune is quite good. She herself will also receive many blessings from her children. Notably, a triangle appears in the center of the palm. This is one of the signs of great virtue and blessings. People who possess this sign tend to accumulate more assets and receive strong support from the next generation as they grow older. Another prominent point is the very well-developed Venus mount. This is a sign of someone who often bears the burden, plays a leading role, and takes responsibility in the family or community. When she got married, she was also the one who took care of many things. Though it might have been tiring, in return, she enjoys a very good later life. In her youth, she may have gone through many ups and downs, from failure to even bankruptcy if she had invested in business. But the more she enters her later years, the more clearly her development improves. In addition, her fingers are quite even and long. This reflects a harmonious personality, someone who lives peacefully and values harmony. At her current age, she is no longer someone who wants to compete or fight too much. Her fingers also have many vertical lines. These vertical lines represent a favorable tendency from ancestors, parents, to her own children, and show closeness within the family. With this hand, there are many good signs related to later life. In the areas of the Saturn mount and the Sun mount, there are currently many tiny intersecting lines. This indicates that her work at this stage, especially in this year, may be facing some issues. These things might be causing her some worry. Moreover, in the middle of the palm, there is a square shape cutting into the headline. This is one of the warning signs. If she is doing business, she must be extremely cautious with matters related to laws, legal issues, or anything involving documents. If she is not careful, she may easily become entangled in legal trouble or scandals. These are misfortunes that could happen this year. Nevertheless, overall, she still has a good later life. She can be confident in doing business because the palm lines still show a positive development trend. At the end of the lifeline, there is a round shape resembling a leaf. This sign represents someone who becomes increasingly prosperous in their later years. Long life, financial stability, and no need to worry much about money. The above is the complete analysis of her palm. If she is watching this video, I wish her much success and fulfillment in life. Thank you very much.